Greetings, dear brothers and sisters. My name is Csongor Kelemen, and I'm sitting here with Johannes Oost for our fourth and final part of this interview with him for this episode of ORA et LABORA. In the first few parts, we were talking about his upbringing, his growth in faith, and also the work he's doing here within their company. And now in this last part, we will try to weave everything together and talk about how his faith and his work can go together and coexist. So, dear Johannes, would you please tell us a little bit about how an ordinary work day looks for you, and well, what do you do when you go about in this company?
Okay, well, there is no ordinary work day. Every day is different. But well, you enter the office. Usually, when I'm at home after breakfast, you have already on your cell phone, because usually everyone has a cell phone with them now. You have already emails and texts what you can see, or maybe missed calls, because like I said, we are globally working, so with different time zones. You come into the office, yeah, and you start doing your emails, of course, but also checking with doing meetings with your with the personnel and your colleagues, seeing what kind of projects do we have, how do we start, how can we continue. The thing is, the maritime business is, again, as I said, a little bit flexible and hectic, so things can suddenly change rapidly. A vessel comes in and then you need to focus on that vessel, or suddenly the vessel is not coming into that port and you need to change something completely different.
Yeah. So you say every workday looks differently for you. Does that mean that this also has influence on how you live your faith in your ordinary life, or do you have some moments in your day which you specifically devote to God?
Not standard. Of course, again, morning and night when you go to bed and to sleep, and when you're having dinner or lunch. But during the days, it can be on different times, whenever you find some time for yourself. When I travel to a customer maybe, or an exhibition, I'm in the airplane for several hours. Yeah, there is a lot of silent time to pray or to think about faith and what's going on, and you ask for help.
And how is it within your company? Are most of your employees believers or not? How does that take shape?
The company is at Urk, as again, and Urk is a village. There's lots of Christians. A lot of people also come from Urk, but not everyone. So yes, I would say most of them are Christians. They believe. But we also have people that do not believe. We also have people that have different religions.
Is that something that you talk about new employees right when they when they apply for a job here in the company?
When they apply for a job, during the job interview, and things will go very well, and there's like a second job interview follow up, and we will say then that it is a Christian company, so we have the values of that. We understand if someone has a different religion or not believing, they're also welcome to work here, but it's not allowed to swear, for example, or curse or anything.
Yeah. Is there anything else, or when you say to a new employee, well, we are a Christian country and we abide by a certain moral code, do you make it specific, or do you kind of expect them to know what that means?
I kind of expect them to know what it means, indeed. Again, we are asking them for to look for their behavior at the work floor. At the end, I cannot unfortunately, of course, be responsible for their behavior outside the work floor. But as long as they act as I think a Christian should be, so loving to each other, not fighting, and not using bad words, then that's what we expect from someone.
Yes.
I think almost every company would say approximately that, although cursing is of course quite common in a lot of companies. I think that's the only big difference in terms of that.
Well, there are some other pointers that and other values that you briefly named in the earlier parts of our discussion. You talked about love, you talked about servitude, and you also talked about truth.
Yes.
And you say that being truthful within your business dealings actually is better for the business as a whole.
Yes.
Is that true in each case, or can truth also be something have negative effects? Like, for example, if you were not to be as truthful, then you might make even more profit.
It could be, yes. But at the end, the truth wins.
Truth prevails.
Yes, exactly, because it gives you a nice feeling yourself as well if you keep on telling the truth. If you're going to lie, eventually a customer will find out, or someone on the work floor will find out. Actually, to get back also to your previous question, it's actually very nice during job interviews. I always also tell people, if you talk to a customer, do not ever lie. Always tell the truth. Is there a problem? Is there a problem? Then say yes. Don't say maybe and we're going to investigate, or but always say the truth, because if you say no or maybe, then that customer will start to look into other things. And yes, of course, in the background maybe you can resolve it and you can say, okay, it was not us, and go on. But no, tell the truth, take responsibility. It's very important. And I think you might lose money sometimes out of that, because people take you to it and they will say, okay, then I'm not going to pay for this because it was your fault. Yeah, that happens.
I think this also can be conceptualized within the framework of short-term gain or long-term gain.
Exactly.
So maybe a lie can be beneficial on the short term because well, you keep the customer, or you keep or you gain a profit. But on the long term, you might end up losing that customer and also lose profit, and the company as a whole might lose face and might lose in value.
As a Christian, you might be able to lie and make more profit for the company, but I think that every true Christian that can lie that easily, then maybe they're not a true Christian, because you should not be able to sleep about it. So your personal life is affected by it.
But this is also an idea which can be applied to being a Christian and faith as a whole. The difference between short-term gain and long-term gain, or should I say short-term pleasure or long-term fulfillment, and that is one of the hardest and most difficult things to do when you are a Christian, to be able to say no to these short-term pleasures and all the temptations of the world, because you know that in the long run it damages your soul and it damages your relation with the Lord.
Absolutely.
So that is something that clearly shows an overlap between your personal faith life and your business life as well.
And again, customers are not stupid these days anymore. Maybe back in the old days, but they are smarter than ourselves. So if you're even lying about something, they will find out. So it's also not recommended.
Yes, information is more readily available.
Exactly.
Also information about everything. Right. Last time we were talking about growing as a company and achieving goals, and that also means growing in opportunities and also financially, also in wealth. That is also a question I would like to ask you: how you view, as a Christian and as someone who has a leading position within your company. How do you view prosperity and wealth? Is that something that you are striving for, or is that something that just comes along, or it is meaningless, or how do you view it?
I wouldn't say it's meaningless, because at the end you need money to sustain your family, of course, but you should not be attached to it. I think it grows naturally, but again, the key word is, during most of the episodes we had, is again responsibility. Also, when you are getting a lot of money, which is being given to you by the Lord Himself eventually, because He's giving that to you, not because you are doing such an amazing job, but it's Him Himself who gives to you, then you need to act responsible with it. So what do you do with it? Are you throwing it away on cars, houses, parties, or whatever? That's not what's going to be. You need to share it. So amassing wealth should not be the goal, but if it's something that happens along the way, then make sure you can handle it, and make sure you can get rid of it and share it.
Yeah. You are talking about sharing it. Is that also something that you talk about when viewing the church, and well, then a practice like tithing comes into mind, and giving also church, giving also money to the church? Is that also something that you feel as your responsibility?
Yeah.
So do you see the church also as an institution in this instance, that also manages goods and manages finances to spread around to the most needy amongst us?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's one of the key things that the church can do, and show love, because at the end, if you share something from you to someone else, that's one of the biggest things that you can do, of course. And in this case, unfortunately, that is in these worlds money, because with money you can buy anything, is what they say, except maybe love. But if you can give something to them and they are helped with it, they can buy food for their family, for themselves. It's great. It should not only be the church, I think. It should also not be donations. I would also say, look around you, look in your town, city, country, or whatever, or maybe friends, and see if you can help people, and help them, in my opinion, without maybe them knowing it's you.
Does your belief in Jesus influence your dealings with business partners, or does your faith make it easier or more difficult for you to work within your own field?
Easier, because when there's something going on and you are like a little bit maybe stressed, or something bad is happening, then at the end of the day you can pray for it and you can ask for it, and you will feel some kind of relief, and then you can get enough energy for the next day. And even though some challenges are taking weeks or months or maybe years, eventually you will see them, that you have been helped, not because you're yourself are so talented, but because there's always a way out of it. You can always rely on the Lord that He will help you with it.
But this is more on a personal level, how you cope with stress and with the responsibility that is given to you. But on a more interpersonal level, do you, for example, find that faith can be an integral part, or can play a part in business dealings, or does it come to show or not? Have you, for example, met people, business partners, of whom you knew, he's also a believer, and if so, how does that influence your interactions?
Yeah, well, as I mentioned, doing lots of meetings with customers, it also means dinners or lunch. So once that happens, we start to pray. I always ask for a moment of silence. So far, all around the world, everywhere I went, even with other religions or non-believers, whatever, there was always respect. I think in the business world there's always a part of respect. Also, people try not to talk bad about the Lord, also not to curse, so to say. If someone is cursing, then I'm asking them, hey, I prefer not that you do that, and they try. Of course, from the other side, there should also be an understanding that it's for them, it's normal. So you should not always say to them, I don't like it, I don't like it, I don't like it, because it's a mutual agreement, and that grows naturally. But does it really help the business? Of course, the Lord is helping my business, but in terms of doing business, no, faith is not really playing a high role into that.
Yeah. Have you ever had some kind of idea to actively share the gospel or share your faith with any of your business partners?
Yes.
And how does that work?
Yeah, sometimes when you have most business partners, you see them and it's gone. It's a couple of hours you speak with them.
Yeah.
There are a couple of business partners that you need to spend more time with it. You go for dinner more times. And then of course the questions ask, why are you praying maybe, and so on and so on. So with these kind of long-term relationships that you see them on a bi-weekly, maybe monthly basis, yes, you speak about it with them, and then they usually also have questions about it. And at the end, I can even say some business partners, you would see them almost as friends in the business. And then, they also say, hey, something happened in my family, I have problems with my wife, or maybe my mother died or something like that. And you discuss about it, how things are going on.
Yeah. I think that is also something that our Lord calls us all to do, to be open and interested in also in people who don't necessarily share our views. As you know, famously Jesus says in the Sermon on the Mount that you know that it has been said to you, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say, love your enemy as well, and pray for them. And that is something that that you can show even with a stranger, that you are interested in them.
Exactly.
But that is beyond a purely business partner meeting. And is that something that happens naturally with you, or do you like to keep interactions on a business level, or are you really open to this personal level as well?
Open, absolutely. Yeah. For me personally, yes. On the other side, to start with, it's usually business.
Yeah.
We are typical Dutch people in that case. In other countries, you see that's completely different. If you do business in Spain, for example, first you need to sit down and you drink some wine and you have some nice conversations about everything. It's a completely different level. We in Holland are very straightforward, so it's a cultural difference in that aspect, and maybe on Urk even more. We are maybe even a little bit more straightforward even than Dutch people. So at the beginning it's like strictly business, but then later on it develops and it evolves, and it's always open. And like we have discussed about the truth, if they see that you're constantly telling the truth and you're opening up yourselves, they will start to trust you and opening up themselves as well. If you're going to lie in the business, people don't want to deal with you on a more personal level. Business level, yes, but afterwards not.
Yeah.
And I think it's good to build a relationship, not only for yourself, not only for them, but also for the business altogether.
Well, you were talking about truth, but we are bound not only by truth with a small t, but also with a capital letter. And we know that the truth and the way and the life is not something, but is someone, and that is the Lord Jesus Christ. So I think ending with his name is quite fitting. But I would like to give you the opportunity to maybe say some closing remarks or greetings to our viewers. What do you think, from your position personally, is something that you would like to share with them?
Okay, well, first of all, thanks everyone for watching this, and greetings to everyone who is watching this. From my personal point of view, I would always say, speak the truth, take your responsibility, spread love. If you feel that you are at work and you cannot be on the same page with your faith anymore, like maybe your company is asking something from you what is not possible, then try to find another job, how hard it will be, but remember that the Lord will always take care of you.
Thank you very much, Johannes Oost, and thank you all for watching, and hopefully I will see you in the next episode of ORA and LABORA when we have another guest. God bless you, God bless your family, God bless your work,
Thank you.
and God bless all you, the viewers. Take care. Goodbye.